What is the maturity kind of like out in the marketplace? Like when you're talking to clients or clients come to you and talk about value stream management, you probably saw our NTT video today. You know, it's something we're really exploring with other partners and even with you. Like what are you guys seeing in the field in that space?
So it's lighting enterprises up when they get it, because then they start to think for the first time they actually have to understand how they deliver value and what value is most important to them. Mm-hmm. So we had that one case study, I don't remember, from Australia. Actually, you might know that you did the interview with a guy in telecom.
Oh,
we talked about
these guys work there. So BCCW Global?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so James and
they
Jackie
use that as their basic organizing principle for basically redesigning the company and implementing SAFE. So maybe you could speak to that experience.
So the CTO, there's a video on our website, prettyagile.com.
Okay. So the maturity isn't there, but the logic is there. When people understand it, it's not like, well, we don't want to do any of that, right? That totally makes sense and gets the whole end to end. The steps have been around forever, kind of driven from a manufacturing standpoint, all about reducing cycle time, reducing time to market, taking waste and delays out of the system. So it's just a really great paradigm. We introduced value stream management 5-6 years ago. It was kind of hanging up in the corner, and then it's gradually made its way as it matured in the market to where we are today. And now that's the way we think about the problem. The business agility value stream is just a type of value stream. People have discussed that, well, you've overloaded the term. But value streams are any place that value flows from inception to the end. And when we simplified that model and we say these steps always occur, it gave us a way to think about how you integrate SAFE to achieve the objective. Right now, if you look at SAFE, there's a lot of stuff there, and it's agile and should be lean and it should be good. But the point is, are you delivering value continuously, and how do you know it? And if you're not, what do you do about it? Well, value stream thinking is like a godsend to that whole notion of how you improve. And then for us, it also anchors our measures, because the question is, what do you want to measure? The stuff at the end, the competencies that you get there, and then also the flow metrics that you use to get there. So I'd say it's been a significant reorganizing principle that allows us to anchor thinking on the business outcome, the goal of the business outcome, not just being agile, lean in the process, and getting people to focus on what really does matter. And then recognizing that as value stream moves with it, that causes you to get rid of the notion that you'll always have a stable value stream structure. Well, it's stable only if the value is stable as well. So relatively immature in market, comes from lean, easy to understand and easy to deploy the thoughts, but then you have to do all the work to actually make value flow without interruptions. And that's what's been driving us. Our thinking is, if you put these steps in place and the people are right, and the backlog is being fed right, and you got WSJF, and you've got good technical practices, it should just flow. But there are many impediments to flow that create things, even our own world, chunkier than we like. Yeah. And we've been doing a lot of self-actualization as a team, because we've been together most 5, 6, 7 years. We're a pretty reasonably high-performing team, and we still see those interruptions to flow, and they still kind of bedevil us and think, okay, at this state of the company and the state of our team, we should be able to address these. And I think it's going to have legs, because I think it gives you tools to assure that you can go back and debug the system. There are bottlenecks. They're always there. They hurt you whether you know where they are or not.
Speaking of the tools, have you looked at or run the new value stream mapping workshop?
We have.
And do you get feedback?
So for us, like this is where, value stream management for us for NTT data, this is why this is great hearing the talks and being here too, because I think what we're doing as an organization, when we go end to end, so we go into a client, we go in, we talk value streams. Okay, hey, that's a value stream. Let's do some value stream alignment. Let's go in and do the mapping, right? And so honestly, this was a learning we had very early on. So the alignment and the mapping, yes, we have the arts lit up, right? Arts are aligned, it's moving. Well, great, but how do we know we really did active value stream management on it? How do we actually know right? Unless we're doing, like you're saying, the active value stream management, right? And looking at flow load, flow efficiency, looking at those things flowing, how do then I know where to go back and tune as we go? And so it's something like for us, you know, we're working on putting it together, but you know, it's kind of taking the safe approach, taking some like tools, putting them in there, but then fine tuning as we go. And then of course our coaching for the maturity of the teams kind of work that way too when we find the bottlenecks and those things and the flows.
Well, the construct is, I mean, that's the people organizing construct to support flow. It is back to flow. And
Yeah.
of course, you guys know, I just saw Nick outside a little bit ago. You know, we've had a very mutually rewarding relationship. He's taught us a lot. Maybe we've, we've reciprocated. But Dean can tell you, as I've known for years, swimming in the DevOps community, that this is not a new conversation there. It's the real deal, right? So they get it.
What's the cool thing about that DevOps community with respect to flow is that they measure. It's part of the culture of DevOps, because if you don't know what the flow is through the system, if you don't know where the hangups are, if you don't know what the working process is, you're not really running good DevOps. So our Agile community gets, get to measure me and compare me to somebody else, and my story points aren't your story points. It really, really gets you about that. The DevOps community is they instrument, meter, and monitor the flow of the system and the system itself. So they have a very strong focus on that deployed system is live, and we need to have that feedback. So they do rigorously measure the things that create the flow, and then they also instrument the system that's running, because otherwise they've taken responsibility for this thing. It's no longer somebody else's problem. They're going to get the support calls, and they're very mature that way. So we follow that community. We contribute to it as well. We've written 3 or 4 articles that are in that community. With one exception, we're all at the DevOps Summit this year. It is a great pool of knowledge with respect to all those folks, and we get a lot of ideas from there.